19 campsites in a loop, 1 through 7 are all along Chalk Creek. We've camped in site 4 probably about 6, maybe 7 years ago. It was a year or two after our last recording of this campground. I do like the San Isabel National Forest, where they have all the measurements for each of the sites and their signs. Elevation 8,600 feet, and I've got 1 bar of service with AT&T. Service right in here is pretty sketchy. Campground's closed. Got the Titus Adventures rental van. We'll show more of that in some videos during this trip. They're helping sponsor this series that we've got going, that we're recording this next week. They've got all kinds of adventure vehicles to rent. 4Runners with rooftop tents. They've got larger camper vans. This here is Site 1. We're here in mid-April. Campground's not open yet. A lot of stuff is still snowed in. Chaffee County Road 162 up here. Just a little bit up the road, you've got Agnes Vale Falls, Chalk Lake Campground, and Chalk Lake is adjacent to the campground. Good place to go fishing early in the camping season. I wouldn't count on catching much once you get to the second half of the summer. Just everybody's camping and fishing. Wiped out most of the fish by then. Site 2. Yeah, this one's a Camp Host one now. I don't remember it being a Camp Host last time we recorded. Chalk Creek. So I planned on showing you guys the Iron City Campground just outside of the St Elmo ghost town, which is further up the road, about 12 miles. It was still snowed in. That was actually the very first campground we recorded back in 2015. So coming up on 10 years since we recorded that. Site 3 is a great one here. It is close to Site 4. Yeah, we were wanting to come back here. This part of Colorado is one of our favorite areas to camp in. Kind of a tribute to 10 years of recording campgrounds. Site 4. This one's just a pull off. Bear box for 4. We have seen a bear in this area. It's been a few years now. It was up by the Cascade Campground, which is just another mile or 2 past the Chalk Lake Campground. Site 6, in the middle of the loop. Failed to point out the outhouse up there on the hill. It's a good RV site. So over the last 10 years we have recorded, I think it's 353 campgrounds. A few of those we've recorded a second time with better cameras and as changes have been made. A little bit further from the creek, but not bad. So out of those 353, 313 are in Colorado. Mostly U.S. Forest Service, BLM, a couple state parks, some city and county campgrounds as well. But all in, we've recorded campgrounds in 10 states now. Campsite 8. In the center of the loop. Stairs up to the picnic, fire ring, and tent pad area. Site 7. So a lot to do in this area. Got the Cascade Falls waterfall just up the road a little bit. There's a narrow gauge trail, which I believe is about 4 miles. Kind of a flat spot up there. It's where a train track used to run years ago. You can access that from right by Cascade Falls, just across the county road from Cascade Falls. There's a place where you can get onto that, and then it passes up above Chalk Lake Campground, and eventually Mt Princeton, and then it ends up at, I forget which county road it is now, down here, 292 maybe, if my memory is good. A couple dumpsters. Site 9. So we've camped at the 3 major campgrounds here. Mt Princeton, where we're at. Chalk Lake has been, we've camped there numerous times. A couple sites right on the creek, tent sites that are awesome. This is site 10. And then I think we've camped at Cascade one time. That was back in 2014, before we started the channel. We've recorded the campground twice though since then. Site 11. Starting to get away from the creek on this one. Another outhouse. Site 12. Time now is just before noon. A little shade on all parts of the campsite. So this one would have some shade on this right side later in the day. Steps down to the picnic table and fire ring. Okay, campsite back over here. It's going to be 14. I'll show you that in a moment. $13 on the right. Here's another look at 14. This one's in the center of the loop. And then 15, this is where you start getting up against the county road. It is a paved road to this campground. Plenty of parking for a couple vehicles. You'll be able to see a white Jeep right there on the road. I'd much rather listen to the creek than I would the road here, which is why we kind of started the channel to begin with. We had made reservations at 3 campgrounds in central Colorado. Lodgepole along the Taylor River, Lake Irwin, over by Crested Butte, and then Cascade just up the road. So it was all one trip in 2014. We just wanted to get out and explore. Site 16. And after getting to the campsites that we had reserved, we realized that most of those were campsites that we wish we would have been able to know the layout of the campground a little bit better, and which ones were near the road versus which ones were away. This will be 17. Short one, but good for a camper van. No stairs to the picnic table. So I think when we camped at Cascade, that one, we ended up with a campsite along the county road here. Had we known back then what the layout of the campgrounds looked like, we could have made a better choice. Alright, this one is 18. Let me know what you guys think of this campground. It's a new water pump I've seen. So straight ahead is Site 2, camp host, outhouse, and then 19. On the right, that's our last campsite here. Again, that backs up to the road. You can see the fence there. It's a great area. A lot to do. So Mount Antero, can't see the peak here, but that one, there's a hiking trail, but also OHV trail up to that. You can ride an ATV up to about 13,800 feet, and then from there hike the last 600, 800 feet. Head back to the camper van and have some lunch. Titus Adventures rentals. They all include unlimited mileage and no hidden fees. They come stocked with a lot of the stuff you need, and then have a selection of optional items as well. Be sure to check them out. We'll have a discount code that you guys can use. I'm back.
I can hear you. Or not hear you, but when I did that, your sandwich.
Ooh, sandwich is ready.
Peanut butter and jelly.